and just enjoy it. You know, don't do it because you feel fat, you feel this, and you know, focus on the skill. Focus on the skill and the rest will follow. Focus on the skill and the rest will follow. That's a good line. That's a good line. What's up everybody, it's your boy Chris, back at it again with a new video. This time I'm responding to a comment. And it's a comment that reflects a question I get asked a lot because I always train with the gymnastics rings. I'm obsessed with the muscle up. I've been doing muscle ups for years now. And I also claim to have performed the slowest, strictest, most beautiful muscle up ever. 1 minute 48 seconds. Check that video out here. I'll put a link to it also at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. The question was, what is the benefit of training with gymnastics rings and calisthenics compared to going to the gym? I have to admit, I am someone who has not been very often at the gym. I have been at gyms. I used to train for powerlifting, believe it or not. My best lift is at 425 for a single rep, 405 for triples. So I'll compare that a little bit to this type of training and not compare this to bodybuilding. Because bodybuilding, I guess it's a whole another level of skill sets. So I'm gonna compare calisthenics to powerlifting as a means of training compound movements and as a means of developing strength, right? Powerlifting and calisthenics basically reduce complexity by focusing on certain movements. So powerlifting, it's the bench press, it's the squat, it's the deadlift. And with calisthenics, I only do a very few exercises. It's very stormy here today. It was the pull-up, it was the push-up, the squat, especially the pistol squat. It was the dips and the muscle-up. I really believe those are mainly the exercises I train. I was really focused on perfecting my muscle-up. So my muscle-up would be my #1 priority when it came to strength training with calisthenics, and all of the others would fall behind that as a priority. I would always do my push-ups, I would always do my pull-ups. I would never always do pistol squats, and if I overdid my squats, everyone knows this, leg pain after workout is a motherfucker, you know, that shit hurts bad. What are the benefits of training calisthenics and gymnastics rings compared to powerlifting? Well, powerlifting, I have never met a single person who has enough equipment at his home to train powerlifting. What I mean by that is that you have to always go to a gym, which is a good thing. I'm not saying going to a gym is a bad thing. You know, there's a community there, there's people inspiring other people. I used to go to this gym in Berlin called Strength. When I got to this place, there was this guy, everyone knows him probably now after they made this film, The Game Changers, Patrick Baboumian. Patrick Baboumian, if you don't know who this guy is, yo, check him out. He's fucking amazing, amazing. Well, he inspired me a lot. And this gym did as well. And I really liked the community, but I had to go to the gym. I had to find the time to go to the gym. And using the gymnastics rings and calisthenics, this was never an issue. It just had to be disciplined. And I think a lot of people find that difficult, you know, to not have a ritual outside of your house and, you know, depend on whatever equipment you got here in your home. But I, for one, enjoy it. And it doesn't mean I always train here at home. I go to the park. When it's a good, nice day, I'll just go to the park and pop some pull-ups. I'll set myself a goal. I'll say 150 pull-ups, 100 pull-ups. The beautiful thing about calisthenics is that the world is your gym and you are your weights. You can put extra weights and whatever, so you get the benefit of training with weights as well. But you can do this everywhere. You know, you can grab a rock and put it in a bag, in your backpack, whatever, you know, like big bottles of water. I don't know, you can get creative. And with the gym, well, you gotta be at the gym. The practicality of it is what keeps me training calisthenics and gymnastics rings. And one thing that I did notice was limiting the fun factor of training powerlifting was the fact that there was a training outside of powerlifting training. What I mean by that, you know, I was doing a lot of bench press and weighted pull-ups, and I had muscle soreness as much as any other person. But I also started to have like little aches and pains on my joints. And they were not bad per se, but I did notice that I had to invest extra time on stretching, on foam rolling, on doing mobility work, etc., to keep those problems at their lowest possible. And with calisthenics, I think you cover both worlds at once. For me, like the muscle up, for example, I do the muscle up with the gymnastics rings, and for me already being able to perform the muscle up is a reflection of the fact that I can move my joint properly. With time, I have noticed, you know, you can also have proper posture with the muscle up, proper posture with the pull up. So you squeeze out the most out of your range of motion in a way that it makes it unnecessary for you to have an extra program for preventing joint pain, joint injury, etc. So that for me is just like one thing that really wins the case for calisthenics and gymnastics rings for me. You train that, that's what you train, and that's what you need. That's all you need. And I have to say, I did get quite a high level. I'm 40 right now. I can pop muscle ups any given time, no warm up needed. That's another thing. I'm anti warm up, so I don't spend time warming up. If I do a training session at 6 a.m., I pop right into it. And if it's a muscle up session, my first movement will be the muscle up. I have to be able to perform this at a high level of confidence that I know I'm not injuring myself. And you have to get there, you know, you have to progress until that point where you are comfortable performing this exercise that for many, or for the most, is, you know, a peak performance exercise. But for me, at this moment, it's where where I start and where I keep.
Perfect!
Okay, so after hearing all of that, what should you train? Should you train powerlifting at the gym? Should you train gymnastics rings and calisthenics? Could you even also think of training both? I would choose one. I, for one, if I would choose to start training powerlifting again, I would look for the proper gym. For me, that's easy to find because I live in Berlin, and that gym I mentioned is here in Berlin, but that might be a whole other story with you. And if you want to go with the rings and calisthenics, well, you could start right now. And if you want to develop some proper skills, if you want to do the muscle up, I did a tutorial on the muscle up years ago. I'll put it at the end. And if you want an advice on what type of gymnastics rings to get, think about getting wooden rings. Just the feel of it is much better. I would get wooden rings, and whatever you do, just do it and stay at it. You know, fucking work on it until you get very good at it. Then step back a little, you know, like tone it down, keep a good basis you can sustain, and every now and then push the limit, push the limit, push the limit. Not every time, but keep a good basis, and then every now and then push the limit, push the limit, push the limit. Yo, I guess that was it. I hope this helps. I hope you get at it. I hope you progress. I hope you grow. I hope you learn. I hope you find a meaning to everything you do, because you have something new to work on, and just enjoy it. You know, don't do it because you feel fat, you feel this, and you know, focus on the skill. Focus on the skill, and the rest will follow. Focus on the skill, and the rest will follow. That's a good line. That's a good line. Focus on the skill, and the rest will follow. Peace out.